Hi everyone, and welcome to another Strange and Unexplained episode, part 2 of my little series that I'm doing leading up to Halloween. As you can see, I have Athene here with me. She's been a little bit of a squiggle pot, but I don't know, she seems alright now, but yeah. Anyway, so in this episode I'm going to be talking about something that happened to me when I was 8 years old. So back in 1990, it was October 1990, and we went to visit my grandparents, and they lived in St Leonard's, down south along the coast. And basically I went to bed one night. Me and my brother, we shared a bunk bed at my grandparents, and everything was fine. We went to bed as normal. Mum put us to bed, and everything was fine. I was on the top bunk and my brother was on the lower bunk, and as I was climbing out of my bunk bed onto the ladder, I just froze, and I basically saw what I call a shadow person. And this shadow was of a woman, kind of looked like the side view or the profile view of the Queen, but this shadow person didn't have a crown or anything, which just literally looked like the Queen but without a crown. And as I say, it was like a side profile view, a woman, I suppose. I could just tell it was a woman because this sort of profile view of the shadow had fine sort of features and just looked female. So anyway, I saw it and I froze and I didn't know what to do. So I just, instead of going to the loo, I weirdly enough climbed back into bed. So I'd only got a couple of rungs down the ladder, and then I climbed back up again, got into bed and sort of stuck to the edge of the bed. And now and again when I looked over, this shadow person was still there. And anyway, my mum came in to see that we were asleep and see that we were all right, and I told her about it. And I just remember crying my eyes, saying there's a woman on the wall, and I was absolutely petrified, and I have no idea who this shadow woman was. She didn't say anything to me, but she was just there on the wall. As I say, when I looked up to get out the bunk, why I climbed back in, I have no idea. I don't know why I climbed back into the bunk, and because most people would be like, oh, why didn't you run to your mum and dad's room and say something? But I don't know, it was weird. It was a weird experience because I knew that this person shouldn't have been there, but they were. The mum put a load of bedding and that on the floor, so I slept on the floor, and I just kept avoiding looking up at that part of the wall. My brother was just fast asleep. He didn't hear anything. He was, he's a good sleeper anyway, but I'm not. And so we never actually told my brother about it. Mum said, just don't say anything to your brother. And so from now on in, at that time, my brother slept on the top bunk and I slept on the bottom, because I just didn't want to see that woman again. And it's one of the sort of scarier, for me, scarier stories, just because it was just so plain and solid there, this shadow. And as I say, I have no idea who she was. But a lot of people, I've told people this story in the past, and they've just been like, oh, it was probably something on top of the chest of drawers or the wardrobe that was making that shadow, blah blah blah. But how can something make the shadow perfectly of the side of a woman's face? It's as I say, one of those really bizarre things. And the same with the other story in part 1. I never saw that shadow person again. She never appeared to me. But after that happened to me, every time when we went to our grandparents, it just always reminded me of that time, when I saw this shadow woman. And I always thought, oh, is she going to be there? I thought, I just never looked. never looked again at that part of the wall. I know it sounds weird, but I just couldn't look at that bit of the wall anymore. And as I say, Joe used to stay in the top bunk and I stayed in the bottom bunk from then on in, so, and that's just the way it was. But yeah, it was unusual and it was kind of freaky. It was, as I say as well, because it was October, I suppose the witchy spiritual side of me thinks that at that time, you know, because it was near the end of October, the veil is the thinnest between the living and the dead, and I just think maybe yet again it's someone passing through. But as I say, they didn't, this shadow woman didn't say anything to me. She was just there and then she was gone, and as I say, never saw her again, so, which I was quite pleased about. I was old at the time, and by 8 years old you know what should be there and what shouldn't be, and it was definitely unexplained. So this girl's been really squiggly today. There we go, cheeky monkey. But yeah, so it's just one of those things, I think, where people are sort of spirit people, whatever you want to call them, are like passing through and things, and maybe they have got a message, maybe they haven't. But like I said before, children are quite susceptible, so that's probably why I had a lot of unusual things happen to me. They happen sort of less frequently now, which is quite nice really. Athene has been extremely quiet and chilled now. She's enjoying the heat on my hand probably, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, please pop them in the comments section below, or if you have any spooky stories, then, you know, just let me know. I'll enjoy reading them. But for now, it is goodbye from myself and Athene, so see you again soon.